Hello everyone, and welcome to another DL concept analysis, a series of videos where I discussed about upcoming dinosaur concept arts released for Evrima. Today we will explore the Spinosaurus concept art, its real-life counterpart, how it was in Legacy, and how it's going to be in the future. So without further ado, sit back and enjoy the video. Spinosaurus aegypticus, or spine lizard, was a megatheropod from the late Cretaceous that ruled the ancient shorelines and mangroves of what is now North Africa, 94 million years ago. This absolutely massive predator was one of the largest carnivores that ever roamed the earth, and the largest member of its kind, the Spinosauridae family, a group famous for its semi-aquatic nature, elongated snouts and dorsal spines. With over 50 feet in length and weighing more than 8 tons, Spino was an apex predator during its time. However, its lifestyle and adaptations were much different in comparison to the usual megatheropod. Spinosaurus, just like all members of its family, was mainly a piscivore. Their elongated snouts and conical teeth are specialized on catching large, slippery fish. Such diet is further supported by the location of their nostrils being extremely close to their eyes rather than the tip of their snout, as well as the paleontological confirmation of large fish present around the Spinos time period and geographical location. However, such heavy animal would require an enormous amount of calories, being speculated that Spinosaurus was also an opportunistic predator, periodically scavenging carrion or even active hunting, being fish their main source of nutrition. One of Spino's most distinctive features is its dorsal spines, creating one of the biggest sails in the Spinosauridae family. Its purpose is not yet clarified, however. Thermoregulation, intimidation, and sexual display are some of the most plausible theories. Spino began its journey in the Isle back in 2016, and throughout the years it has established itself as an extremely dangerous carnivore. Being one of the tankiest dinosaurs in the game period, relatively high bleed, fast ambush speed, fast bite speed, and an extraordinarily sharp turn radius, Spinosaurus is currently overwhelmingly overpowered, although, as many other species, it is part of a forgotten era in the Isle's history. Never updated or reworked for the survival game mode, it represents a time when progression was the game's main game mode. Nowadays its presence is only seen in community servers, where most legacy dinosaurs are available. However, even in 2022, Spinos are so strong that their usage is monitored and restricted on a vast majority of the servers that host them, some going as far as being admin use only. But for many members of the community, this semi-aquatic predator is their favorite dinosaur, and just like all other species present in Legacy, Spinosaurus is also coming to Evrima, eventually, with a new model, sounds, and unique mechanics. And now that we finally got access to its concept art, it's time to analyze and see what we can learn from it. I've been noticing that the past few concept arts have been lacking considerably amounts of information, which is alarming since concepts are already limited by default when it comes to info. Spino's art seems to follow this unfortunate trend, and there's barely any substantial information about the creature, but we will try to work with what we have. This initial image shows that either Spino is toe-to-toe against Dinosaurus, or that the former has an advantage. Also, across the concept, the usage of their claws is prevalent, pointing that those are their main weapons rather than its mouth, something that was already somewhat confirmed by the developers. Dinosaurs seem to be in danger just as much as any other dinosaur. Smaller dinos like Minmi and Baby are also susceptible to Spino attacks. Camouflage looks less effective against it, as well as water shores, as we can see here, with Spino performing what I can only assume as a launch attack, similar to dinos. Even armored dinosaurs like Ankylosaurus, Jesus Christ, that design, are not immune to these apex predators. It is only speculation at the moment, but turning heavy herbivores like demonstrated here can possibly be a shared mechanic with all apex carnivores in the Isle, in order to create a more balanced experience whenever these species enter in combat. It is unsure how this will perform if implemented. The devs must be planning on buffing apex herbivore defenses, but we will see. Spinosaurus looks amazing. Its anatomy, although not scientifically accurate, blends decently with the Isle's sci-fi theme, even though its execution is not so easily praised. The concept itself, however, is not as satisfactory as many of us would expect. In comparison to previous releases, this concept art is extremely limited in information, and the little info we get is that Spino is a natural disaster capable of fighting and kill everything with low resistance. Seeing Dinosaur, the apex dinosaur with the meatiest hands getting bitch slapped by a Spino, is worrying. If heavy apexes are in a disadvantage against it, and small dinos can either hide or run away from it, how will meteors like Barry or Suko be able to coexist with this monstrosity? Maybe that's the plan. A dinosaur so dangerous that its mere presence changes the player's ecosystem, forcing everyone to leave the area. And while this sounds good on paper, especially for the Spino player, having such an unbalanced predator at the hands of players will lead to immediate chaos. Of course, this is only speculation. Dinosaurus may be able to stand its ground, and babies might be only snatched by Spinos if caught off guard, since this image shows babies on land and not underwater. But what was shown here, what we can see, is a killing machine able to catch and kill everything. From big to small, fast, slow, camouflaged or armored. But at the end of the day, we can only hope and see. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to watch previous concept analysis, there will be a playlist available in the end credits. If you are interested in discussions about the Isle and its future, check out the rest of my content. Also, a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters for supporting the channel and the content that I create. If you want to join the ranks, the link will be in the description. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and opinions down below, join our Discord server for memes and paleo nerd stuff, and I hope to see you very soon. Stay safe.